Hey, Bulls fans, what a game that was. That was one that went down to the wire and almost gave me a near heart attack, if you know what I mean. Let me know in the comments down below how you thought the Bolts played tonight. Did they play well? Did they play bad? It was a little bit of both. Love to hear what you guys have to think on this. With that said, though, let's get into breaking down this one period by period. Hope you guys enjoy as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Bolts.
Welcome back to another episode of Quick Strikes. My name is Michael Wax. I'm joined by my co-hosts Philip Wunderlich and Jake Ricker. Guys, how are you doing after that win?
I'm doing amazing now that we're tied 1-1. I was a little nervous there for a little while. I was not ready for overtime, but we won the game, so I am super excited right now.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm really excited that we won. I mean, it was a must-win game, really, and we got the win, so that makes me happy.
And you're exactly right that it was a must-win game, Phil. And when we started off, the Lightning looked really, really good to start off the first period. So naturally, they gave up the first goal. Anders Bjork took the puck into the offensive zone, tried to jam it by Vasilevsky, and couldn't really get anything going. Then Nick Ritchie comes in, jams Vasilevsky's pad a couple of times, and the puck trickles its way towards the back of the net. So the Lightning, though dominating, find themselves down 1-0 pretty early.
Yeah, typical, right? The Lightning are playing good. They look like the better team in this one, and the Bruins get the goal. You know, that's just the way things have gone for the Lightning. So this was a frustrating one for sure. You know, when you're playing well and then, a play like that, the puck bounces the wrong way and they get the goal. So Bruins benefited from that a lot. The Lightning looked good, as you mentioned. They were the better team at this point.
Yeah, I agree. The Lightning looked really good to start the period. It's an unfortunate bounce, but unfortunately that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, and we saw them respond really, really well after the goal, and they got rewarded for it just 12:40 into the period. Blake Coleman is the recipient of one of the best Lightning playoff plays I've seen in a very long time. Zach Bogosian knifing through two defenders, getting by basically everyone except for the guy in between him and Coleman. Feeds it on over to Coleman, who's wide open, and he has a Bobby Orr-esque dive because, of course, we're playing the Bruins, and he gets it by Halak through the Halak's 5-hole for his second goal of the playoffs to tie the game at 1.
Yeah, this was an amazing goal on so many levels. First of all, shout out to Zach Bogosian, who made that ridiculous deep through the two Bruins players, and then Blake Coleman with the dive. I mean, it was great. A lot of relentless effort. What I like about this goal the most is that it shows the Lightning don't give up on a play. I mean, this was a play, if you would have looked at it and you would have paused the video and said, okay, you think the Lightning are going to score here? Most people would say no, but they did a great job of fighting through it and still got the puck on net and got it in. That's those kind of goals you need to score in the playoffs. Goals that you don't see developing. It's not like a power play goal where there's a guy wide open on the right side of the net or whatever, but great job by the Bulls to tie this game 1-1.
Yeah, I completely agree. I felt like Blake Coleman looked like Superman out there, scoring that goal in the air. It was kind of funny because, like you said on Mike on the Twitter, I kind of thought he was tripped at first too, but then really looking at it, he was in the air scoring that goal. That was amazing.
Yeah, and all three of the playmakers on that play, I should say, all three people that got points were people that the Lightning acquired in February. Blake Coleman with the goal, Zach Bogosian, and Barclay Goodrow with the assist. And with that, the period came to an end. It was a little bit more even after that goal, but the Lightning still controlled most of the stats with the score tied 1-1. The shots on goal in that period were 11-9 in favor of the Lightning, something that we would see pretty much take over the game for the Lightning in terms of shots on goal. As we enter the second period, the Lightning again are playing really, really well, not taking stupid penalties, and then they take a stupid penalty. Alex Killorn with a dumb penalty, and of course the Lightning paid for it. On the ensuing power play, David Pastrnak finds Brad Marchand for the tip-in goal, a power play goal. And the Lightning are right back to where we started in the first period.
Yeah, this is a terrible penalty. There's no way around this. I know we had some debate in the last show about, can you sit Killorn? Well, maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. But, this is a stupid penalty. You cannot do this. You're going to pay for it. It's not even a penalty where you could say, oh, well, this might have saved the goal. It was a smart play. And the other problem here, this is happening all the time for the Lightning. This is not just, the second time it's happened or something like that. This is like Killorn's sixth penalty, and they've all been stupid ones. So, and they pay for it. That's what's going to happen on a power play. I tweeted this out when it happened. I said, that's what happens. That's what you get when you take stupid penalties. If the Lightning would have lost this game, this is the moment where I say they blew it. Because, if they don't let this power play, Bruins probably never score, and you're up in this game, which we'll get to in a minute. But stupid penalty. You cannot do this. These are unacceptable, and they're getting pretty bad.
Yeah. I was on the I was disagreeing with you guys yesterday with sitting Killorn. I'm not going to say I agree with you guys, but that was a really dumb penalty. You can't be taking those kind of penalties in the playoffs. It's it's going to hurt you every single time. And Marchand we all hate him, and we all know he's an elite player, and he's going to make you pay every single time.
Well, yeah, and he made his pay later in the game, but we'll get to that again later in this show. Normally when we talk about the playoffs in past performances, when the Lightning get scored on, it takes them a little bit of time. Not so much this time. Literally less than a minute after the Marchand goal, Braden Point with an unbelievable keep-in at the offensive blue line. Kevin Shattenkirk just fires a puck on net, which is something that the defenders didn't do in Game 1. They did a ton of in Game 2, firing pucks on net, and Nikita Kucherov was there for the tip-in.
Great play. I know a lot of people have been talking about even though I think Kucherov has played really good in the playoffs, been saying, where's Kucherov? Where's Kucherov? We need him to score. And he did it tonight. He made a great play. There's great play by everybody here. Kevin Shattenkirk made a good play. Braden Point made an amazing play. But Kucherov puts it in at the end of the day, and that was another huge goal tying this game. The Lightning have done – one thing they have done consistently throughout these playoffs and have done so well is their response to when they get scored on. These guys, they go down in a goal, and every shift I've seen them come out from after getting scored on, they responded tremendously. And they did it again here today, and they tied this game. Great job by them.
Yeah, I agree. One of the people that says that Kucherov has been non-existent is Mike. So how do you feel right now?
Wow, shots fired.
So, to be honest, he's making me eat my words a little bit. However, what I said at the time was true. So I'm glad he's proven me wrong. And I want him to succeed. And that's another thing I'm seeing from Lightning fans is like, oh, we need to get this player off the team. This player isn't doing very well. You want your team to succeed. And I understand that sometimes you need to make a change. But for right now, we want everybody to succeed. And so, you know what? Maybe he listened to me. Maybe he just took it right and scored and made a couple of really nice plays.
Can we channel that for Killorn then? Hey, Killorn, can you play better, please? Can we get it to work for Killorn? No, but you're right though. You're right. Obviously, when players are going to have bad stints, it's going to happen. So I'm glad Kucherov is playing really well right now, and I hope it continues.
We'll get to Killorn in a little bit, don't worry. But at the end of the second period, the game was tied once again at 2 this time. Shots on goal in that period were 12-7. So through 2 periods, the Lightning were out shooting the Bruins 23-16. As we go into the third period, things are pretty even for the first 10 minutes. And then Victor Hedman with a Norris-esque pass to Blake Coleman. And he gets one of the weaker shots I've seen on goal. And Halak just kind of flubs it, and it goes past Halak. And the Lightning have their first lead of the series.
Yeah, this was a huge goal. Another great play by Blake Coleman. He getting in there. Hey, can't say the Blake Coleman trade didn't pay off anymore because it's paying in spades right now. Blake Coleman looks so good. He's playing so well. I love to see it. So this was a huge goal for them to get up finally in this game here. And, great job by them. This was the first period I thought Boston actually played pretty decent. For the first 2 periods, I sat there and said, the Lightning are the better team in both these periods. But the third period, Boston kind of came out and made things a lot more difficult. But then the Lightning, get the goal in there and start to take control again.
Yeah. I know I keep referencing this every time Blake Coleman makes a good play, but you remember a couple of shows ago when you were talking with Eric, and I mentioned how good he was on scoring, those type of goals on New Jersey, and that's what we really got him for. I mean, he gives the intangibles, like he can play physical and stuff like that, but at the same time, when you need a clutch goal, Blake Coleman's there for you.
Yeah, and for the majority of people, myself included, we thought, all right, they're going to wrap it up there. It's going to be tough, but they're good down the stretch. They've got some fantastic defenders and defensive forwards. They've got this. And then 16 minutes into the period, or should I say with 4 minutes left in the period, I don't know if I would necessarily blame the Lightning for this goal. I know Tyler Johnson had a really difficult time getting the puck out of the zone, but Pastrnak, Kuraly, and Marchand connect on a beautiful passing play, and they had a great job of keeping that puck in the zone. Marchand with his second of the game, 6th of the playoffs, and every time I see his face, I just want to cry, and this was a prime example of that.
Yeah, Marchand's face does not exactly bring joy to all the children when he comes up. But listen, I know a lot of people were mad at the Lightning for not getting this out, and yeah, you could argue there was a terrible play by Johnson. At the end of the day, I have to give credit to the Bruins here. They did a really good job. They kept the pressure on. They kept the puck in. We've seen the Lightning do that before, and the Bruins did it to the Bolts, and they get the goal for it. That's what's going to happen when you can't clear the puck like that. So as much as it sucked, as much as I hated it, it was a good job by the Bruins. So, they tied this game, and this is the point. I got a little nervous, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. What's with NBC? They show Marchand's face like every 5 minutes. Like, I'm so tired of seeing him. That's why I jumped on the Twitter, and I know you were covering it, but I said, send out these rat traps. I'm tired of seeing him.
Yeah. We've all had our problems with the coverage and the fact that it's a national broadcast being favored towards the Bruins, but again, we'll digress just for this time. We'll have a whole episode centered around that, don't you worry. But in this period, at the end of the period, again, tied, going to overtime. Shots were 8 apiece during that period, which brought the total up to 24 for the Bruins and 31 for the Lightning. And then we get to overtime, and the Lightning flip a switch. They dominate the overtime period, and they get rewarded for it. And it's not a line that you would expect. Pat Maroon finds the puck behind the net and keeps it in. Yanni Gourde gets an original shot on net, and then passes it over to Andre Palat for the game-winning goal. Never a line in my life that I think I'd be talking about, but Palat, Gourde, and Maroon saved the game and saved the series for the Lightning in Game 2.
Yeah, huge goal, huge win for a number of reasons. Obviously, nobody wants to go down 2-0, and this makes it 1-1. And, it's funny you were mentioning Gourde. When Gourde first came onto the ice and I saw him hustle to the boards and beat out a player to get the puck, I said, wow, Gourde, that was a great play, Gourde, right there. And that line continued that play and got the puck in the back of the net. That was a huge goal. It was such a huge sigh of relief for me when they scored that goal. So, listen, I thought the Lightning here in the majority of this game were the better team. I thought they played really well. Obviously the third period was about even and was tough when the Bruins scored and some dumb penalties. But at the end of the day, the Lightning played a very good game today, and I think a lot of Lightning fans have a lot to be happy about.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like Mike said, Palat really saved the series here. Like I said, it was a must-win game, and that's exactly what we did. We came out and we won the game. I think we played a really good game overall, and we got what we wanted.
Yeah, and shots for that overtime, by the way, 9-1 in favor of the Lightning. They ended up getting even more shots on goal than in Game 1 when they had 37. They finished with 40. Boston finished with 25. Now, I do want to briefly mention there was a fan question that was posed to me after the game, and it kind of had to do with my comments about a couple of the players. More specifically, and we mentioned him earlier, Alex Killorn. And the question revolved around, do we sit Killorn for Joseph or for Hagen or Stevens? And we did lose the majority of the faceoffs tonight, and those three guys have fresh legs. Do we get sitting someone like Killorn?
I think you do. I mean, again, I don't think this is going to happen. It's very unlikely to me. But listen, Killorn's had a terrible playoff series. Well, this series and last series. He just hasn't played good. So many just very stupid penalties. He has had a couple of points on the board, which is good. But, I mean, he's making mistakes, and there's something's not right, and something has to be done. You know what? Even if they don't sit him, if Cooper just lays into him and says, like, man, get your act together, he's not playing well. And when you got young guys like Stevens and Verhaeghe, I wouldn't sit him for Joseph. I don't. Joseph hasn't played in the playoffs. I don't know how he'll do, and I just don't think Joseph is that great of a player. But something needs to happen because Killorn is just not playing good, and that's the bottom line here. I know he's got some playoff experience and can be a great player for us, but you got to do something at this point. He's just not playing well, and it hasn't stopped at any point.
I can't see sitting Killorn. I'm sorry, I just can't see it. He was one of the best goal scorers in the regular season for us. I know he hasn't really reached that this postseason, especially in this series, but I mean, he has to get back there eventually, and we're just going to sit him and not worry about the fact that he could potentially get to that again. Or we're just gonna say, "Oh, here you go, little rookie, go in there and play your ass off."
Yeah, I think you do, and I think when you sit Killorn, we're not sitting Killorn for multiple games. You sit him for one game, bring him right back in, and hopefully that puts a spark under his belly. And listen, I know he was great in the regular season, but at the end of the day, that was the regular season. This is the playoffs now. You've got to make a change. Something's got to happen. And listen, I hope he turns it on and we don't have to sit him. I hope we don't have to do that. And again, I don't think this is going to happen. It's doubtful unless Killorn makes a really boneheaded play like Kucherov did when he got sat. It's very unlikely, but I don't think you can also sit here and say, no, absolutely not, it's impossible. It's definitely something you could consider and look at with our depth.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but like you said, with Kucherov, I mean, that was during the regular season. You're not going to sit Kucherov during the postseason either.
It's a bold move, but
well, and when you look at it, I brought up Killorn, and maybe that is basically the guy calling to the crowd saying, I'm here and I'm saying like exactly what you want to hear. But the same could be applied to Tyler Johnson, Anthony Cirelli. Those guys have been invisible so far. Erik Chernak and Mikhail Sergachev have been invisible so far. Everyone else is playing great, and I feel that. And this is just my personal opinion, not talking about the game as a objective fan, but if we're operating at 100%, we're unstoppable. Right now, we're operating at about 50%. 50% of the players aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and we're suffering because of it. I truly believe we'd be up 2-0 in the series if we would be doing just 75% of us showed up.
Yeah, but do you think that has largely to do with Steven Stamkos' injury? I mean, that's huge.
I think the 0-15 power play has something to do with Steven Stamkos. For the rest of it, no, I don't think so. I think the power play is definitely suffering from Steven Stamkos because it's obvious. Ever since he's been out in these playoffs, power play has been terrible. Even when they've had their opportunities and had a couple of chances, they still can't score. So I think power play suffered from Steven Stamkos. But as for listen, I don't think. Michael, you said 50%. I don't know about 50%, but that's just me. There's definitely some issues here, but the Lightning are playing well. They are in the second round for a reason. I think they're doing a lot of good here, so there's definitely a lot to be happy about right now too.
Yeah, maybe 50%'s a little bit low, but again,
you're being overly critical.
Our full potential. And you brought up the power play, and yes, the power play was really, really bad for the first, I would say, 2 opportunities. That third one, they moved Point and Kucherov around. It looked a lot better.
It did.
I know a lot of people are upset right now about Mikhail Sergachev taking that top slot. They think Victor Hedman should be there. He's got a better shot. But I thought for the movement that they made on that power play, they looked a lot better.
Agreed. They definitely did look a lot better. And listen, it's going to take a lot of changing and work around to find something that works without Steven Stamkos until he comes back. So it sucks. It's 0-15, but you just got to keep changing things up. Hopefully something will click eventually.
Well, so On that note, we will transition over to our recurring segment, our positive and our negative from this game. I have so many positives to talk about because, of course, we won. If it was the other way, I'd have so many negatives to talk about. But we'll start with Phil. What is your positive and negative?
My positive is going to be the obvious play by Blake Coleman. I mean, he was a superstar in this game. Like I said, he had a Superman goal in the early period, and then he, got on the board for the second time, and I think he played really, really well tonight. If he keeps that up and keeps playing the way he does, I think he's going to be really successful in the upcoming games. But unfortunately, my negative is going to be the power play. You said it yourself. We had a couple of chances, but that we didn't show up on the board, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, that's definitely big. My positive for this one, I got to go with Zach Bogosian. I'm going with a little bit of an unsung hero here. Zach Bogosian, and this is more, too, of just the series overall. He has played really, really well. He continues to prove himself. Also, I forgot to mention this, too. I know I gave my positive, but also shout out to Braden Coburn. I thought Braden Coburn played really well, after not playing at all in the first round, not playing in the first game, obviously, but he came and played well. I mean, that first shot on net he had was a tip in front. I mean, that one almost went in, and I believe he had something to do with the first goal the Lightning scored that ended up getting called back. But Coburn was great in this game too, so shout out to him. My negative for this game, honestly, it's kind of tough for me to pick a negative because I thought the Lightning overall played really, really well. Obviously, Phil, I know you said the power play, but I've got to go with the end of the third period because for the most part, usually I think the Lightning are very good at keeping their foot on the gas, but it definitely seemed like they got stuck a little bit at the end of the third where they kind of took their foot off gas just a little bit. This is not something normal. I don't think the Lightning are going to continue to do this, but if I've got to pick a negative, that's what it is for me because obviously that third goal, ended up not mattering because we scored in overtime, but that was a little bit of a scare there.
Definitely, and I'll be going with Zach Bogosian's defense partner as my positive, Victor Hedman. Hedman looks like he's turned it on to another gear in these playoffs, and that is unbelievable to say for two reasons. One, he's the best defender in the NHL. I don't want to hear it. Two, he's playing on a basically hobbled foot. It's like Erik Karlsson a couple of years ago with the Senators, where he's just going into Dragon Ball Z reference Super Saiyan mode, and he just looked amazing. I think that pass to Blake Coleman on the third goal was representative of that, and the fact that he was really good against all of the Boston Bruins lines. If I had to choose a negative, it would be that second line of Tyler Johnson, Anthony Cirelli, and Alex Killorn, just because I felt like they were really invisible unless they were taking really dumb penalties or being a negative in general. So they need to step up. I know that Johnson has a couple points. I know that Killorn has a couple points, but they're not the defensive stalwart line they were in the regular season. I think part of that has to do with the fact that Blake Coleman is no longer on Anthony Cirelli's wing. I think part of that has to do with the fact the regular season was 6 months ago. So I don't know where their game is. I hope they find it soon. And, I'm happy the fact that we tied it at 1. Hopefully we can get our 2-1 lead tomorrow. And on that note, we will be hosting a live show after Game 3 tomorrow. Game 3 is at 8 p.m. It'll be on our favorite network, NBC. And after the game, whatever the score is, whatever the result is, we will be hosting a live stream on this YouTube channel. So make sure to bookmark it, favorite it, whatever you've got to do to make sure that you can listen to us after the game if you so please. Thank you to everybody who is watching this video. If you could like, share, and subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below in the comment box. Once again, for my co-host Philip Wunderlich and Jake Ricker, my name is Mike Wax. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you for Game 3 live stream tomorrow night, probably around 11:30 p.m. Have a good night, guys.
Go Bolts.